think it's fair to say Mario Party has lost a lot of what used to be staples of the series in the newer games. And while I'm not looking to analyze everything that has gone wrong over the course of the Mario Party franchise, I bring it up because one thing that was a common occurrence around the middle of the series' lifespan hasn't been featured in like a decade now. I'm talking about team names, the titles you get when you put two characters together in tag team modes. Like 95% of all team names can be categorized as either a term that combines the characteristics of the two characters, like Boo and Yoshi being known as Scary Dino, or they reflect the relationship these two characters have. And the latter is exactly what I want to look at today, what these names say about the relationships between these characters. And trust me, there is some wild information here you never knew, so I suggest we don't waste any more time and dive right in. We start with Mario Party 5, the one that introduced this mechanic. Playable in this game are the standard Mario cast, so Mario himself, Luigi, Peach, Daisy, Yoshi, Wario, Waluigi and Toad, as well as Boo and a Koopa Kid or Mini Bowser, these henchmen of Bowser that are exclusive to the early Mario Party games. The team names start off quite simple when we look at Mario, and don't go further than a few nice little references here and there. Combined with Luigi, it's Mario Bros of course. With Yoshi, it's famous combo, referencing the role Yoshi plays in the mainline titles. And with Wario, it's alter egos, which also feels appropriate. With Peach, Mario makes the cutest couple, which is also fitting, but I do find it funny that with Daisy he makes a nice couple, which is good to know in case things don't work out with Peach, I guess. Also interesting is that Mario and Boo make for old acquaintances, which is a weird way to describe Mario's relationship with a common enemy. Perhaps it is a reference to side games like Paper Mario, where Mario teams up with a Boo? Hard to say. Luigi also has an interesting team name with Boo, the Scare Bear, which is of course a reference to the then new Luigi's Mansion. He and Daisy make for steady sweeties, which is a nice way to describe their relationship, I think. But once again, the relationship with the other princess is described using a bit of an awkward phrase. Look, I know there's nothing going on here, but Luigi and Peach making for a green escort makes things sound very wrong. The name is much better in Japanese and French, which calls them something akin to the Improbables, which is much better. And this title is actually referenced when we look at Peach and Waluigi's team name, which makes it go from the Improbables to the Impossibles. While I do like the English choice of words for Peach plus Wario being Royal Pain, the Japanese name ties into the characters more, being the Extravagance, referencing the fact they're both quite extravagant of course. When we look at Daisy, we find nothing special in English, but in Japanese and French there are a few strange decisions made. Boo and Daisy are called something like the timid teen in those languages, which feels fitting for Boo, but not for Daisy at all. She's like the opposite of timid, that's her whole thing. But even stranger is her name with Wario. In English, it's Mismatched Pair, which is fair. But in other languages, they're known as Secret Allies, which is something I didn't expect. That puts the story of Mario Land 2 in another perspective entirely, huh? It's about how Wario occupies Mario's castle after he's out in Sarasa Land saving Daisy after all. Was it all a setup? We may never know. I'm surprised there's some legit evidence for it. When we look at some remaining names for Yoshi, I do want to quickly mention his name with Koopa Kid is pretty nice. So far, every name with Koopa Kid has been something referencing their unlikely allies or something like that. But with Yoshi, it's Dino Cousins, which I guess hints that Koopas and Yoshis are not that far removed on the Mario evolution tree. There are two more I want to highlight from this game, the first being Wario and Yoshi. Their team name is Food Fanatics, which is just perfect. Love the references to their respective series. Boo and Koopa Kid together make up a duo called Pure Evil, which is a little over the top, come on. If these two are pure evil, why are they invited to Mario's party then? You're only as good as the company you keep, you know. Mario Party 6 would keep the team names and not alter any of them, but it does feature one additional playable character, being Toadette, which means she now also has a brand new set of team names with everyone. Together with Toad, she makes for the Shroom Mates, which is a title I haven't heard of before, but I like it. Together with Peach, they're the Pink Punishers, showing they were already powerful together years before Peachette became a thing. Toadette and Daisy are shopping buddies, which is new information as far as I know. Together with Yoshi, she makes for the racing champs, which is a bit harder to place in my opinion, but it might be a double reference to how Yoshi can run pretty fast and turn into several vehicles in the Yoshi's Island series, while Toadette debuted in Mario Kart Double Dash. She and Wario make for, and this is not a joke, secret friends. What the hell is Wario doing out there, maintaining several secret friendships? And finally, it's interesting to know that Toadette is one of the few characters who doesn't have a negative team name with Koopa Kid, being potent pals. So not only is Toadette friends with Wario, she can also get along just fine with Mini Bowser. And did I mention her name with Waluigi is Diabolical Duo? Maybe Toadette isn't so sweet and innocent as she appears. Following two back-to-back games featuring team names, they wouldn't reappear in Mario Party 7. However, just when it seemed this admittedly minor feature had been left in the dust, it returned when Mario Party 8 released in 2007. Not only does this game bring team names back, it also gives everyone new names, and adds new characters to the mix, so we have a lot to cover for this title. We begin again with Mario, where it is interesting to note that his relationship with Peach and Daisy has been toned down. His English name with his main lady is now Power Players, although it is still something akin to the Lovers in Japanese and French. He and Daisy make for Flower Players though, removing any mention of potentially being a couple. His relationship with Wario and Waluigi now focuses on the fact they all have mustaches, and his name with Dry Bones is a bizarre barbecue ribs. No clue what that reference is, it seems like a better fit for Wario and Dry Bones. That said, Dry Bones is an absolute goldmine for noteworthy team names. It and Luigi, Cry Bones. It and Peach, Dry Frowns. It and Yoshi, Sky Bones. With Wario and Waluigi, they're respectively the Dumb Skulls and Boneheads, which also feels fitting. But they also illustrate perfectly the new idea behind team names. These reference the characters' relationship much less, and instead feel like the two characters came together to think of a fun name. Also cool, don't get me wrong, but it does mean there's less mind-blowing reveals to talk about. But the number is not zero. One example is Yoshi and Daisy, who combine to make for Tomboy Trouble. Is Yoshi a tomboy? I mean, I guess it's possible this Yoshi is. It has never been confirmed they're all the same one. Very interesting of course to look at in this game is the new name of Daisy and Wario. Last time they were secret allies. How is that bond looking now? Well, it's still pretty good. Even in English it's referenced now with the name Mischief Makers. And what's even more baffling is that Mario Party 8 actually adds more fuel to the fire that Toadette may not be entirely what she seems. Her team name with Wario? Double Agents. Come on, this has to be deliberate, right? That said, any reference to Toadette getting along with Waluigi or the enemies has been removed, unfortunately. The other new faces, Blooper, Hammer Bro and Birdo, don't have the most exciting names, unfortunately. Most fall entirely into the fun names but nothing revealing camp. Noteworthy are Blooper and Boo, who make for a creature feature, referencing how ghosts and octopuses are common movie monsters, Hammer Bro and Daisy, who are barn builders apparently, and Birdo and Yoshi, who are usually the best of pals, but here referred to as Egg Explosion, which doesn't exactly have positive connotations. Also funny is the name for Waluigi and Boo. Total creeps. Following Mario Party 8, team names would only return once, later in the same year in fact, when Mario Party DS hit store shelves. This game tones down the roster to only the main cast, although it does introduce new team names fortunately. But they're not exactly something to write home about. The majority of these are flat out uninspired, giving us very little noteworthy newcomers. There are still a few I want to highlight though. Mario and Toad combine to make Fungus Friends. Now, of course Mario is heavily associated with mushrooms, but to call him a fungus is a bridge too far for me. He and Peach make for fan favorites, a further step down from their former lovers motif. Although I guess it is correct at least. And that cannot be said for Luigi and Daisy, the shy sidekicks. Again, not being shy is literally Daisy her whole thing. How has this gone wrong so often? The only team name that plays into a character relationship we didn't know yet is Wario and Yoshi, who are the unlikely pals. Not exactly the first two names I would think of with that team name, but still. It's at least better than Waluigi and Yoshi, who make up the completely nondescript purple dinos. And names like that is what the majority of Mario Party DS's names boil down to. With team names not appearing in the 8 games that followed this, I think it's safe to say we have truly seen the last of them. A shame if you ask me. How else would we have ever known Daisy and Toadette might be working for the enemy? That's been all for me, but if you have any idea how these weird team names could be explained, please let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to the channel to stay updated on all my future Mario content coming up. For now, thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.